Thank you, Lee, for those kind comments. And thank all of you for being here and expressing really your fundamental belief and support for what the Y does and is trying to do for all of us. In something that I don't often do, I'm delighted to do at this very instant. I am going to take my hat off. And then I'm going to thank all of you. It's a nod to those of you who have supported the great work. You don't often see me without my hat, but I'm not bald. Excuse me. Still hanging in even at my advanced age. But I've come to believe in branding. So thank you. The 48th Dr. Martin Luther King Human Dignity Award Leadership Program. As an honoree, I'm very flattered. As a human being, the word dignity has great meaning to me. It connotes respect. And if there's anything Dr. King reminds of, why can't we just respect one another so that we can get along? Why can't we develop compassion and support for all people? And so I am always reminded, going back to where I grew up, which was in Panama in Central America, that human dignity is the essence of collaboration and our ability to move forward as a race. I remember my first breakfast. It was really at the table of someone all of you know, that's John Anderson. That's okay. In those days, I used to come downtown a lot more than I do now. But I remember the impression I had at that early beginning, and some of you were there too. I'm not going to name you because you're a little older than I am, and out of respect. But I do want to know that that is the kind of commitment that allows our community to grow. So in preparing my remarks today, I wanted to build on a couple of themes that I've been working on at UCLA. And our Master of Ceremonies alluded to the notion of voice and the notion of developing leadership potential in our communities. I want to say a little something about that. I also want to say a little bit about Dr. King. And some of you have already known how powerful his words are and what they can do to us in situations such as these. And so I want to get a little inspirational in reminding all the work we have to do. All labor is still not done. So I have hope, and I want to say a little bit about that. So what is it about King's ideas of justice and inclusiveness that matter today? If there was ever a time that people needed to have voice, it is now. Who are we and what do we stand for? The importance of developing voice is nothing more than having done your homework in the effort to acquire power. You see, I happen to believe that every one of us can make a difference, and any one of us can change everything if we are so inspired and get trained to do it and become a leader. All of us can change the world if we set our mind to it All of us can have dreams and purpose, as Dr. King would remind us, and be inspired then to do something about whatever it is that troubles us in a collaborative and constructive way. If there was ever a time that we needed that, it is now. If we have dreams and hope for an equitable and inclusive society, we have to stand up, we have to speak, we have to have voice. We have to have presence. We cannot be afraid in situations where we raise our voice. Now, when I talk about voice, I'm not just talking about blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about the collective, yes, let me just give you a good opportunity. Some of you who know me also know that from time to time, a little bit of humor helps when you start to get too serious. But voice really represents our whole being. It is how we talk, it is how we listen, it is how we communicate, it's how we dress, it is how we react in situation with others. Who are you? What is your identity? Now, why does it matter? If you care about the world and you want to change something and want to do something about the human conditions, you need to have a way of being someone that is consequential, that can influence others, that can influence events and situations and move people to places they thought they couldn't go. You have to acquire power. Voice, then, is the journey of being empowered, and I'm still working on it. I'm not there yet. But when I get a chance to listen, and this occasion allowed me to go back and read a lot about Dr. King, I get inspired. I get inspired. There isn't a sentence that that man wrote that can't move one of us. You've heard a couple of them already. And so, voice is about acquiring influence. But to be powerful, one needs to acquire expertise, be part of legitimate power, be able to have referent power, be someone then that people say, you know, this person is credible and authentic, is real, he's transparent, and what he or she is doing is something that I want to buy into. There are just not enough voices today. We're far too silent. We're far too concerned about our own little selfish pursuits. If there was ever a time that our society might crumble, it is now. And if anything I've understood about voice is the frailty of silence. My father used to say that the evil in the world is not done by bad people, but by the silence of good people. Those of us who are here are good people. Raise our voices, be involved. And by golly, the Y represents the best in all of us. How can you be involved and inspire? I say, take an opportunity to be a mentor. Take an opportunity to influence how young people's life direct, and the work, therefore, the Y, is something that, as others have said, Dr. King would have valued. Dignity means to me respect and empowerment. And for that reason, at the Anderson School, I've established a leadership development program. It is my hope that it lives on after I do. I'm going to put some resources behind it. Some of you are here from UCLA, and you know my commitment to giving voice to our students so that they can go out and do things. It is not enough just to be technically trained and have expertise. How do you apply it? Well, A university is a sanction-free environment where you get to try out things, you get to behave. And if you don't model and if you don't have mentors, you may be afraid to actually raise your voice and be counted. And so I believe that the Y is involved in creating powerful people. The young men and women, and you heard one of them a little earlier today, that spend the time, that come out and lift themselves from challenging situations to add expertise and power to their voice, really is the future Dr. King and I hope for. And so we live in a world that's uncomfortable right now, but we need voices. We need people who are willing to step out, be heard, persuade others, and be influenced and therefore powerful in making change a reality. We have our dreams and our purposes, but without voices, they don't come about. And so I'm inspired today by having had to go back and read a lot of Dr. King's messages. And I want to leave you, therefore, with a couple of things that have inspired me today. And if I had another hour, I would elaborate on. But you know, Dr. King said that lightning makes no sound until it strikes. To me, though, as I stand before you today and valuing the worth of human beings and their capacity to do great things and change and create a civilized and more equal world requires that we stand up when too many people are silent. And to Dr. King, that was how you should get counted. Because, and I'll leave you with this thought, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. I say to all of you here this evening, stand up. Stand up for what you believe in. Make a difference. Use your voice. Many of you have influence. Be powerful. Change the world. We need every one of you working on that agenda, or otherwise Dr. King's dream might come to an end. So with that ominous comment, I'm going to put my hat back on and thank all of you for allowing me the opportunity to share some of my thoughts today.